parents, how do we teach our children on how to make the right decisions? In order to make the right decisions, you have to have the ability to make use of your logical side of the brain and your emotional side of the brain effectively to make right decisions. For our children, most times they're not mature enough to manipulate this, to make use of both parts of the brain. However, the emotional part of the brain is much stronger than our logical side of the brain. Hence the reason why children just make decisions, and that's because they just go on their emotions. So as parents, how do we actually teach them and how to make use of both logical and emotional sides of the brain? Because that's when we actually make the right decisions, just like we adults do. So when there's an incident, because their emotions are natural, the first thing that a parent should make sure that they do is to speak to the child, listen to the child, let them explain to you, as opposed to being angered and getting extremely angry. Because we have to understand that every mistake that a child makes, every negative behavior, a negative decision that a child makes is an opportunity for the parent to actually teach a lesson. That's the first thing you have to think of. But when you're upset and when you're angered and when you're angry, when you're shouting, it makes it very difficult for you as a parent to actually teach that child on how to make the right decisions when they get into trouble again. The second thing we have to do is to give them the opportunity to problem solve. So you want to ask questions like, why did you do that? And when you did that, what do you think that you could have done instead to make this better? Or how would that situation have changed if you made a different decision? The other thing that we have to do as parents is to always see things from that child's point of view. Always step into your child's shoes so your child understands that all you're trying to do is to find out what led to them making that wrong decision. Most importantly, we have to be persistent and we have to be consistent. When we're persistent and we're consistent, and every time they make mistakes, we are always there to help them to problem solve. We're always there to listen. We're always there to give them a shoulder. They always think of our voice as a voice of reasoning. So this gives them the opportunity when they're stuck in a situation or in a rut or in a circumstance or an incident. It gives them the chance to actually start to think of the things that you actually say to them when you ask them those questions. When I do this, what's the consequences? What's the repercussions? That is the way that we teach our children to make the right decisions. Being persistent, always listening to them, and so that they can hear us talk as well, give them the opportunity to problem solve so that next time when they're about to make a decision, they're thinking of problem solving first, because their emotions are so strong that the logical part of the brain has no time to kick in, or their emotions just take over. So if you've got children that you want me to come to, all you have to do is to email me, Abigail@thevalueaddedparent.com. I hope that helped someone.